As this 28th chapter is pretty incredible. So this is week 41. Having fun with the title, I said it's either the age of man versus as long as man can, or transform and transport versus transition at 72. If you read that 28th chapter, my bad humor in at risk and maybe the cause, I hope you understood both of those titles. So we're going to call this transform and transport versus transition at 72. This is what you've read. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but just take a quick snap of that, even if it's a mental snapshot of that. This is what you've read. And since for the last 10 weeks and now the 11th, we've gone pushed through the Sermon on the Mount and the after effects. And I think it's been really strong, and I hope it's been a blessing for you. What have you done over the last 40 weeks, excuse me? You've read almost 220 chapters, almost 5,400 verses, almost 148,000 words, and over 70 hours of discussion. Let's jump in so that we can get to our discussion. The subtitle is 9 plus 3 equals 12. And I hope you're going to understand that. I want you to know in advance, I put most of my focus, if not all of it, on the 28th chapter. I thought that that was the keynote to what we read. So let's kick off class, actually not going to any of these. I'm going to take you back to Jerusalem for a slide as Jesus Christ addresses two of his apostles, his original 12 disciples, and two of the 11 who remained at this point. He's resurrected. It's a tail end of John's writing in the 21st chapter, and there's a little bit of dialogue between Jesus and Peter concerning John. Here's how it goes. Then Peter, turning about, seeth the disciple whom Jesus loved. I infused John's name so you would understand and not get lost. Following, meaning following after them. So Peter and Jesus Christ are walking, and John is behind them. Which also, and now he's going to identify who John was for those of us who may not know, which also leaned on his breast at supper and said, Lord, which is he that betrays thee? Peter, seeing him, again John, saith to Jesus, Lord, what shall this man do? And Jesus said unto Peter, if I will that he tarry till I come, what is that to thee? Follow thou me. And what he was doing is he was getting Peter focused on their own conversation, to follow him, to follow his example. But Peter was distracted for a moment and wanted to know what's going to happen with his life. And Jesus was saying, if he lives till I come back a second time, what does that matter? But from that little conversation, so we can assume Peter must have discussed it with others, then went this saying abroad among the brethren that the disciple John should not die. Yet Jesus had not said unto him, he shall not die. But if I will that he tarry till I come, what is that to thee? This being probably at the tail end of John's writing, and if you know the order of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, this is at the tail end of all four Gospels. So if this is all we had, we wouldn't have known what John's ultimate status was. So I'm going to read you a little paragraph out of a site that I found online called gotquestions.org concerning the Apostle John, John's death. Here's what it said, verbatim. The Bible does not record any details confirming how the Apostle John died, but tradition provides many theories. The most plausible concerning John's death states he was arrested in Ephesus and faced martyrdom when his enemies threw him into a large basin of boiling oil. But according to custom, John was miraculously delivered from death. Is that the last we hear of this? Let's go to 28. So we're going back to the Americas, and now let's jump into the 28th chapter. This is the first three verses of your assignment tonight. Jesus spake unto his disciples. Listen what it says, one by one. I called this Jesus' exit interview with his 12 Josephite disciples, because he goes through each one and has a discussion with them. And he asked this, what is it that you desire of me? And we read in this 28th chapter that he departs. So he is getting to the end of his time in the Americas, and he wants to find out their desires. Okay, we're going to do this again. What is it that you desire of me after that I am gone to the Father? Then they all spake except for three, save it were three, saying, so 9 of the 12 gave this answer: we desire that after we have lived unto the age of man, that our ministry, wherein thou hast called us, may have an end, that we may speedily come unto thee in thy kingdom. And he said unto them, blessed are you, because you desired this thing of me. Therefore, after that you are 72 years old, 72, you shall come unto me in my kingdom, and with me you shall find rest. Now, this is coming from someone in his moving into the second half of his 60s. So I dissected that and looked at the word after. And so I just added this. This doesn't clearly state when, but after. So might this actually mean that they would live at least 72 years and maybe some live beyond? I'm doing that somewhat tongue in cheek. I want everyone to know that. Okay, so his exit interview continued with the remaining three. When he had spoken unto them, the 9, he turned himself unto the 3 and said unto them, what will ye that I should do unto you? Their silence set them apart. So now he's addressing them. When I am gone unto the Father. And they sorrowed in their hearts, for they durst not speak unto him the thing which they desired. And I read into that. Maybe we'll have that as discussion. Why did they sorrow in their hearts, and why didn't they want to say it? We can talk about that later. He said unto them, behold, I know your thoughts, and you have desired the thing which John, my beloved, who was with me in my ministry before that I was lifted up by the Jews, desired of me. So we get a little bit of follow up to what I just read to you. Therefore, more blessed are you, or ye, and for ye shall never taste of death, but ye shall live to behold all the doings of the Father unto the children of men. So, in late April 2024, are they still here? So it seems. But you shall live to behold all the doings of the Father unto the children of men, even until all things shall be fulfilled, according to the will of the Father, when I shall come in my glory with the powers of heaven. What I hope that you're intending to do, all of you, is to explore some of this and talk about what some of this means. So I highlighted the verses. That's all I really did as an overview going forward. So you have 3 more slides maybe, and I have underlined and put them in caps some of the statements made that might stir you up to have discussions later. I'm not trying to control, but maybe guide us to some good conversation. Going on to the next couple verses, 8 through 11. You shall never endure the pains of death. You shall be changed in the twinkling of an eye, from mortality to immortality. I don't believe I captured it, but he goes on to explain this even better as we get deeper into 28. You shall not, you shall be blessed in the kingdom of my Father. You shall not have pain while you shall dwell in the flesh. You have desired that you might bring the souls of men unto me. So there's a purpose in their remaining. You shall have fullness of joy. You shall sit down in the kingdom of my Father. Your joy shall be full, even as the Father hath given me fullness of joy. You shall be even as I am. I want to read that to you again. You shall be even as I am. Then he clarifies what he means by that. And I am even as the Father, and the Father and I are one. Going on. Now we're into 12 through 15. When Jesus had spoken these words, he touched, and that's why our brother Dwayne chose He Touched Me, by the way, tonight. When Jesus had spoken these words, he touched every one of them with his finger, except it were the 3 who were to tarry. And then Jesus the Savior departed. The heavens were opened, and they were caught up into heaven and saw and heard unspeakable things. It was forbidden them that they should utter, neither was it given unto them power that they should utter the things which they saw and heard, whether they were in the body or out of the body, they could not tell. For it did not, excuse me, for it did seem unto them like a transfiguration of them, that they were changed from this body of flesh into an immortal state, that they could behold the things of God. Going on, and I'm skipping now, I'm going to the end of the chapter 27 through 32. These are some of the promises made to the three. They will be among the Gentiles, and the Gentiles shall not know them, or shall know them not. Excuse me, I got the words backwards. They will also be among the Jews, and the Jews shall know them not. Begs the question, do you think any of you have seen them? Going on, it shall come to pass when the Lord seeth fit in his wisdom, they shall minister unto all the scattered tribes of Israel, and unto all nations, all kindreds, all tongues, and all people, and shall bring out of them unto Jesus many souls, that their desire may be fulfilled. There's a ministry with the three. And also because of the convincing power of God which is in them. They are as the angels of God. And if they shall pray unto the Father in the name of Jesus, they can show themselves unto whatsoever man it seems them good. Therefore, great and marvelous works shall be wrought by them before the great and coming day when all people must surely stand before the judgment seat of Christ. Their ministry is to bring others to Christ. And you saw all the different targets that they have: Gentiles, Jews, all nations, kindreds, tongues, people. Yea, even among the Gentiles shall there be a great and marvelous work wrought by them before that judgment day. So my question to you all is, who would you rather discuss first? The 9 who chose a complete and full life in the ministry and speedily transitioned to God's paradise? Or the other 3 who were seemingly embarrassed or hesitant to tell Jesus of their true desire to keep on, to remain serving God, serving God's creation, mankind, indefinitely, and remain on earth till Jesus returns?